It says I'm live. I don't know if time to get set up. Let's set this up. Microphone check. First, gotta plug the microphone in. Get the microphone plugged in. They're all hooked up. I don't know how to turn the light on the camera, but I got a flashlight. All right, let's hook this up. Stop beeping at me. All right, I'm gonna have my alternate self join in here. I should get a notification to me. No, you need to switch accounts, you. Switch account to you. Switching. Right now, see if it says anything. Oh, look. Right there, it says I'm live. Let's go see what I'm doing. Oh, we can't turn the audio on. Let's see. To help the creator build a positive and safe community, you can delete inappropriate messages, put a participant in timeout. This is a moderator thing. Hide someone from the channel. Hi, you can't find me. Manage messages held for review. Right now, I don't think I have a moderator joining. I can't see the chat right now. But someone from the channel. Hi, you can't find me. Let me turn this volume down so you don't get the echo effect. All right. So I don't do lives very often. Chris is here. Chris is a moderator. He knows how to moderate and do everything. Hello, Tom. Hello, Robbie. Hello, Jose. I'm just putting these down here. Like I said, the only thing I've got an issue with is lighting right now. But I was just going to set this up as a live stream. I know it's not announced and everything else like that. And I apologize for not doing them more often. But a lot of times my internet connection, even though I got 5 bars, 5G, there's dead zones. I tell you, there's dead zones where you just sit here, perfect signal, and it'll pop up on my phone. You have no internet connection. Like, what? I got my bill paid, and everything. So I don't know what it is. I'm with I'm with Metro, which is like a sub branch of T-Mobile. And it's got a better reception than AT&T. AT&T would suck, man. I barely get a signal. So let me look at the chat here. Hello, Rhino. I like doing these things, man. I like doing live streams and everything else, but like I said, let's see what's got going on back here. As long as I don't pull this pin here, everything will be all right, And I think we'll be all right as long as this dragon doesn't put his tail in the pin. The tail of the dragon. But yeah, I hope I'm not stepping on somebody's time or anything like that, And to do these more predictably, I should schedule a time and have an appointed time. But that sounds a lot like work. Like, oh, you better be there or you're gonna get fired. I'd rather do it when I feel like it, and I just felt like doing one today, so there we go. That long intro. I don't know why I need to do that. All right, you know what this is right here? This is something I found, but it reminds me of a topic that kind of like is interlaced a lot with this, and this could be a weapon. Right now, it's not. It's blunt, but even the way it is right now, this could be a weapon. All right, so. I mean, if you haven't heard, one thing I'm going to touch on is the controversy about Joe X and haters and nanny states and nanny laws and all this other stuff, And it might offend some people and everything else like that, But I just want to get this off my chest and everything. Here in America, we have something called the Bill of Rights. All right? It's not the Bill of Privileges. You know, it's the Bill of Rights. And what that means is the the founders of, you know, that wrote the Constitution and everything, they were smart people. They were trying to get away from a king and a dictatorship, but, you know, they said, hey, we need some kind of alternate way, you know, to govern people. Um, what are some things that are like given, you know, that everybody, you know, everybody's entitled to? It's just like given. Let's not just say it's a given. Let's enumerate them, and then write them all down from one to, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20. It's been amended and everything, you know. The Constitution and the Declaration and the Bill of Rights, and they're all in here. But one of the things we've got in the Constitution, the preamble to the Bill of Rights, page 41. Sorry, I just want to make sure I reference everything because I'm not trying to do anything revolutionary or anything like that, you know. But that's how our country was founded. You know, it's called the Revolutionary War, and you know, here it is. It's the Bill of Rights. 0 to 10, what is known as the Bill of Rights. Anybody that wants to be a citizen of the United States has to know this. I mean, that's just one of the things that, you know, a lot of people talk about immigrants and everything. We'll touch on that too. But they have to know this, have to go through this. Most Americans that go through school, I doubt if they even teach any of this. You know, and it's really important. Well, anyways, you know, they go through here and they set up all this other stuff. And then here's amendment number 2. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Here's what you usually get quoted at. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A lot of people leave out this first part because they think, you know, this is kind of touchy. You know, they're really talking about setting up a military. No. They're talking about how necessary a militia is. A well-regulated militia. Some people try to get into on the little thing like, well, well-regulated means that, you know, somebody's in charge and all this other stuff. All right, you know, get into the nuances of all that, you know. But if you want to know about constitutional scholars and everything else and stuff like that, there are much better ones, you know, that can give arguments about that, you know. But in America, it's basically determined that within certain limits, you're entitled to own and possess firearms, weapons, you know, weapons that could hurt someone else, and they could restrict it. You know, you couldn't have live grenades. See, this is inert. You couldn't have live grenades. You couldn't have bazookas. You couldn't have full auto machine guns. You know, the machine guns at first were perfectly fine. You could buy a Thompson. You know, it was perfectly fine. But I think like in 1934 they came out with something. You know, and they started because of the gangsters and everything else. They wanted to regulate machine guns. So I'm gonna have to pause every once in a while just to check, make sure I'm saying hi to people. Hello, the budget guy. Hey. Um, so it's only recently that that there's been a thing that's started to be acknowledged as like, hey, you know what they meant, you know, by shall not be infringed was you can carry it too. It says the right to keep and bear arms. Bear doesn't mean like, you know, a big bear. It means like use them, carry them around. Now you still can't do anything illegal. You know, you still can't. It's still against the law to, you know, murder someone or, you know, go out and do anything, you know, that's not in the Constitution. You know, it's not in there. Anything that's illegal, you're not allowed to do that. And you can debate whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, but usually what they find is that when they allow more people to carry guns without restrictions, like in Texas, you know, allow a lot of restrictions, the amount of crime goes down because the criminal doesn't know who's packing. You know, that old guy, he may not be an old guy. And Samuel Colt, when they first made that, you know, he first made the gun, he said something like, God made made man and whatever, but Samuel Colt made them equal. And what that is, before it was whoever was the strongest, like barbarians, whoever had the most brute force could bully his way, you know, or the different version of that is like gangs. You get a group of people, to follow you, and then you've got force and stuff like that. And they realize that, one of the things inherent in your life, no matter where you are and everything, is you have the right to protect yourself from somebody else trying to kill you or hurt you or you and your family. You can stretch that to your property and everything else, but those things right there are like a given. It's like a thing, it's like nobody has a right to just come up and slaughter you for no reason. I don't care what the religion is or color of their skin or whatever reason you've got. If those people had engaged in slaughtering you or your people, I could see, retaliation and everything, but not non-combatants, children, stuff like that, you know. And this happens all the time. This is the way war is. Sometimes, people, don't get hurt. But the whole purpose behind laws and rules and everything is to take away your freedom. They don't want you, the average person, or anything like that, to have the ability to resist the ones that are overlords on you. And that's why, some people are saying, hey, what the Supreme Court really meant is that there's no restrictions on machine guns either. Now, some people, that's debatable, because that's more of a spray and pray type of thing, and it's a lot more chance of just random people getting hit unless you're out in a remote spot. If you go on full auto, they're less accurate. They use up more ammo. I shot full auto weapons before, and you have to practice with them to be good with them and everything else. So, but anyways, the thing about that is, a nanny state encourages snitches. It encourages people, like either for money, a reward, or to keep the government off your back or whatever. You snitch on somebody you don't like already. Maybe they're a competition or whatever else. And, they, let me see what this is saying right here. If you're having any problem with your connection, um, it may be my stream or everything. Hopefully, this will make it through. If somebody can, just tell me in the chat if they're in there, because I see it. I see splitting slices up here. It says, sorry guys, my computer is just spinning. Takes forever to load the video. It's fading. And see, that doesn't show up here on my tracker. I don't see his up there either, so I don't see his comment. But anyways, just drop a comment if you will down there. If everything's working fine for you, you're not getting a lag and everything else. Because like I said, it's very possible that this is why I don't do a lot of lives. I'll try to have this thing up for at least an hour. And like I said, I apologize for not announcing it in advance. But yeah, I didn't even know if this was going to work or not. Because at first I was trying to do it like TikTok screen, straight up and down. Like, that is annoying. Okay, good. Robbie says it's all good. Hello, Robbie. I don't know if I said hello to you or not. I can see things pop up on the screen up here temporarily, and I'm trying to use this. Let me see if it. Sometimes you just have to refresh this because this is even slower. This is in 4G, and a lot of times they're not even gonna support that. So let me see. I see Robbie up there. There's Split and Slice. See, sometimes it does that. You'll be watching a live stream, or I'll be watching a live stream, and I'll say something. I thought, man, I know it's been a while, but I guess people just don't like me, or they don't know me anymore. And people are saying hello and everything, and I'm not seeing anything. Because my thing is doing like this, is saying, like my last comment. It looks like it's live. The video's going. All right, Splitting Slices. Okay, he's put up all the emojis and everything. So, I mean, that's another thing that members can do. They put up these little emojis and all this other stuff. And so, yeah, another thing I was trying to do for members only. You've seen these polls where people put up yes, no, maybe, and all this other stuff. I put one up, and it let me add more selections to it, and it let me post it. And then one of my members responded to it and says, all I see is you only get one choice, the first choice, and that's it. And I looked at it, and on the first choice, it was checked green with 100%, and there was no way to hit the buttons. And I go, what the heck? So I tried to set it up again. This technology. And it let me do everything, but it wouldn't let me post it. It wouldn't let me post to public. It wouldn't let me schedule it. And I said, all right, forget it. I'll just ask people. All right. Now, my WKL membership, they're the ones that make knives, purchases possible and everything. And I've set it at one level because, frankly, you know, uh, I think that if you set it up for anything higher than I'm offering at, you have to offer them something more. Now, some people don't want that. They don't require that. They just want to have the highest level to give the biggest support, and that's it. They want to do it that way. And I thought, because I don't want it to make it look like, all right, you're going to have this, you'll have merchandise, you'll have this. It's almost like it becomes, to me, commercial. And I'm not knocking people that do that because, some people got to make a living and you got to take advantage of what you got to do. But I started to realize, you know what? I can offer that higher level up there. And if people want it, they can take it. And if they don't, they don't. And I'm not going to change the members level that's current right now. What it is. You don't have to be a member at all. But, I want to offer something more, for people. Because the more members I get, like I said, the higher level of knife I can get to give away. And I like to do giveaways, but this way, the way I look at it is, I learned this from like watching Big Red EDC and Zach stuff and stuff like that, and it's from the joy of getting a knife, and the camaraderie of it, it's just it feels good, and sometimes people can't. That's the best one when you can't afford it. Now there are scammers and everything else. You just have to watch out for that. But on mine, man, I've been running it since I've had membership, and I've yet to have somebody scam me. It's usually there's very few people, and it's people I know, and it's just so enjoyable to see people that have been chatting. They're not expecting anything. Some can't, because of overseas, they can't receive knives and stuff. They're just, here to have a good time. They're not in for it. But I said, like for me, it gives me the opportunity to give something back to the knife community and let people have, a little bit of enjoyment. Because I'll put a knife in there and they'll get a dinosaur. And, I mean, it's nothing special. And like I said, the knives are just traditional knives. But I've made a commitment that, no matter how many members I get, if I get 30 members, I'm going to get a $30 knife. If I get 60 members, I'm going to get a $60 knife. And as long as it maintains that, that's what I'll do. If it goes down, then I'll have to go back down. And there's plenty of $15 knife range stuff out there. And I go above that. I don't, go specifically at just, whatever it is. I'll go higher, or usually not any lower. But anyways, I wanted to throw that out there for you and just ask your opinion about that, and don't worry, I'm I'm not I'm not trying. One of the things I realized is I was going to mention also is like integrity, you know, and scammers and stuff like that. I'm never going to scam people. If I ask for somebody's address, I'm never going to put it on a mailing address or anything like that. It's just to get your package to you. And as far as weapons goes, anything can be a weapon. The biggest weapon is your mind. You know what disarmed me? You know what took away? I had an extensive collection of handguns, rifles, shotguns, you name it. Reloading equipment for it. It was legal for what I had. I had basically like an arsenal. Poverty. Basically not having any money. You get down to the point where you got to put a roof over your head. No, I did a lot of stupid stuff. I didn't know that I could have declared, you know, a hardship or whatever, and withdraw from my 401k without being penalized. And I should have taken them. I had enough money to pay the house off. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken care of taxes, but I didn't do a lot of things right. And it came down to the point where I had to sell prized collection of guns. I mean, guns that I had used, guns that were handed down to me, heirlooms, knives, a lot of my knife collection. And once you go through that, oh man, it's hard to want to get back into it again. You're like, nah, man, I'll just stick with something cheap. You know, if I lose it, I lose it. I can still have fun with it. That type of thing. I've been there, done that. I don't need them anymore. Uh, Now I have a basic set, and Texas is such that as long as you're not doing anything illegal, you can pack concealed everywhere you go. And a lot of people are not freaking out if it's not a nanny state where you go, he's got a gun, you know. And my thought too is also, I'm not going to be a hero. I might wind up being a hero, but my intention is not like, all right, now I can thwart anything that goes on. Because, man, you don't know. You don't know who their backup is. You don't know who the bad guy is. And when the lead starts flying and everything, and you whip out your pew pew, and you're going to handle the situation, guess what? Nobody knows who you are. All they've heard is shots fired, and they see what? A gun in your hand. And somebody else who might be, good minding, well intentioned man with another gun, blast your ass. Or you have to blast him. And then, oh my God. So, I've been trained with firearms. I've been in a shoot, don't shoot situation. I've been in real life, had a gun in my hand type situations. And if I did use it, it would have been justified. And if I didn't use it, it would have been okay. And in both those situations that happened, I didn't have to use a gun, but I did have it. And the person that was doing the bad stuff knew it. And just having it and being willing to use it, it didn't matter what caliber it was or anything else. It's just being determined to stop someone from harming someone you care about. Both times it was my sisters, older and younger sister. So uh, that's all I'm saying. All right, cool. Hey, Tom. Thank you, Tom. He's a member here. I'm supposed to acknowledge, members whenever they go up here, and this one it pops up. You can do, membership stuff. You can also put up there how long you've been a member. I think once a month it lets you do a free chat and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not here to make a bunch of money for this. I turn money around for the channel and buying knives and give it back to you guys because I know you can't. Believe me, you can't make a living off of, especially if you don't have a lot of subscribers and everything, and you don't do a lot of lives and all this other stuff. You cannot make a living off of ads on YouTube. I don't even try. Oh, and also that meowing that I've heard, it was weird because I hear this meowing. It's like a cat that's either in heat or it's walking around, and I go out there and I can't see anything. And this has happened more than once, and I go, "Is this a ghost?" No, it's a real. I. As you get older, you don't know if you're freaking out. If you're having like real auditory hallucination, like, am I hearing the real cat or is it really there? And there's no one there to ask that. Well, anyways, I figured out what it is. It's a neighbor's cat, and the cat gets right by the door. And because these are apartment complexes, you can basically hear what's going on. It's like he's right there. So that's what's going on. And that's why sometimes Buddy would be over there by that door sometimes. Like, what's going on over there? And looked at the door mat and it says paw friendly environment or something like that. So I mean, so already it's letting you know that, the guy, he likes cats at least, so anyways, let me get a slurp of my drink that I got over here, and y'all can chat amongst yourself for a second if you don't mind. Unclip this. I'm going to put it here so I can see. I left my microphone there. And it's just orange juice or orange delight. Put your microphone back on. All right, let me set this down. Okay. I need 3 hands. Get over there and don't spill. There we go. Yeah. Let me sit this down and reorient everything and take a sit down. Hey, there's a knife on the floor. What is it? It's a saber knife. All right, let's change the orientation here a little bit, folks. All right, there we go. And I want to show you something while we're just lollygagging here. First, put this up here. July 1974, U.S. Air Force Military Training Center, Lackland Air Force Base, Texas. Designed for ATC course. You had to carry this thing around with you everywhere you went. And this must have been day 2, because I think I went on the 7th of July. So there's my name. See right here, it says SSAN in the Air Force. So this is like F. R stands for regular. I don't know what F stands for. But back when I went in, your Social Security number was your service number. I told that to a VA rep in here once, and she goes, "Nah, they wouldn't do that. If you were a POW, then they would have, identity theft. They would have, that's what, all your orders had that on there. Everyone, your dog tags, it had it on there. All right. Flight, squadron. All right. If found, please return to the person identified above, and he will get his butt chewed for losing this. All right, stapled to this is a standard of conduct. A lot of stuff you had to memorize and shout out or whatever. I am in the service of the United States, and on or off duty, I represent the United States Air Force and our nation 24 hours a day. So right there, they're telling you, you're no longer whoever you thought you were. Whatever rights you think you got, you ain't got. All right? We're going to tell you what you got. And everything I do, I place my priorities as first, what is best for my nation? Second, for my service. All right, so nation, United States, service, Air Force. Third, for my organization. I don't know. You got pride in your organization. Fourth, for my fellows or females. Fifth, for my family. Oh man, your family's way down on the list. And finally, what's best for myself. You see where you're at now? They would just want to tell you, look, you ain't first, you ain't second, you ain't third, fourth, or even fifth. You know what? You're last right here. What's best for you? My job as an airman is to defend my country, its citizens, and the free world way of life. I shall never forget that I am also a citizen. Therefore, I treat other citizens, our allies, and their property with respect. All right, cool. I shall protect all government property as though it were my own. Hey, does that mean that all government property is mine? No, you just got to protect it. You don't own it. Basic integrity, quote, requires that I solve a problem by first determining what is right and what is wrong. Cool. This is going to be easy if that's all we got to do. Then I do what I know to be right. All right, this is cool. What if I'm wrong when I think I'm right? Oh, they got that covered. In the absence of advice by a senior, I inform my chain of command when time and circumstance permit. What do you inform of what? I am responsible to my seniors. Hey, I'm a senior. And for my juniors, both on and off duty. Senior and junior. Okay. Are we in college now? Am I a freshman? I don't know. See all this comic that I'm doing right here, joking around, man. You only do that once in basic training, man. You think you're a comedian once, and oh my God, they don't necessarily tear your head off literally, but boy, oh my God. If you've ever watched Full Metal Jacket, where he's in there and he's doing that, dressing him down, that's how it's handled at first, man. Anyways, uh, integrity starts with me. I shall ensure that others maintain their integrity. All right, now you got peer pressure. The Air Force can be no better or no worse than the sum of its people. True. Strongest chain is only by the weakest link. I will base my personal behavior on not what will offend me, but on what might offend others. All right, there. You better not offend somebody. I salute with pride. I shall maintain faith in my God, my country, and my fellows. Right there, they're not telling you which God. They are telling you which country, and they are telling you which fellows. So, you know, that right there, that's not bad, especially when you think that most people that goes in the military are 18, 20, you know. A lot of people that fly in the aircraft, the officers and stuff, they're in their 20s. Can you imagine what you were doing in your 20s, without any discipline? So they break you down. I mean, there was one book that I read a long time ago after I got out of the service, and it's kind of a liberal one. It was called Gwynne Dyer's War. They put it on PBS for a while as a mini series and everything, but he wrote a book, and I read it. And there's a lot of it that's true about that. They say the reason why they get young people to go into the military is they're moldable, they're impressionable, they want to be with a group. You give them some positive thing, and you lead them, and you can do anything you want. And then it also reminds me of Doom, with Conan the Barbarian and everything. He's going out and he's trying to find the best steel, the strongest steel. Like, he became a steel nerd, and he goes up there and he gets up to Doom. He gets up to the guy and he goes, "Oh, you're still pursuing the power of steel." He says, "You want to see what real power is?" And he just summons to one of his followers up there, and he just goes like this, "Come on, come on." And they just willingly fall off and into the pit, and he goes, that is power. And they known this for a long time ago. It's it's always, it's never the generals, it's never the ones that started the war out there. They're always in a safe place, and it's like in chess. Chess is just like war. They got pawns. They got people that go up, they're limited, they do what they're told to do, and they're expendable. And if you lose them all, you've just lost the game, but you can do another game. These people, the pawns, have lost their life. They've lost everything. For what? For the cause, for the king, or the queen, or whatever, And all I'm saying on this is that as you get older, that's why they don't have a lot of old people in the military and stuff like that. Because as you get older, you get wiser, and you stop saying, when they say charge that machine gun nest, you go, you charge that machine gun nest, you know? No, let somebody else do it, my knee hurts or something like that, you know? That's what usually happens on something like that. Let me check the chat here. Hello, Tony's Ponies. What's going on here then? Yeah, right. Back in the day, BC, before computer, I was there, yeah. Identity theft wasn't a real problem. That's true. I worked at a company that your employee number was your social security number. Yeah, see, a lot of it was no big deal. But now, man, they get a hold of your social security number. They know your mother's maiden name. They're one step away from, if you have any money, they've got it, and stuff like that. Or they could pretty much do anything with you. Yeah, it's pretty wicked. Doug says, there was an old country store that had a case and a Saber display case. Yeah, see, the way Sabers were my first knife, and they were in a display case. They had a bunch of different ones. Let's see if I can find the original. We'll get back to talking about knives. But yeah, that's all I'm just saying about weapons and Joe X and everything. Is it sucks that he's in a country where people can do that and start messing with his livelihood and his career and everything else just from one person being a hater. They didn't like what he had or what he was doing, or they were scared. And he wasn't hurting anybody, but we got to get the police involved. And then, because the police are summoned, they got it, They got to show that they were doing their job and everything, so they got to roust him or something like that. And then you got everybody's nose in your business, and I was like, oh, come on. And after a while, here's another saber. After a while, it wears you down. It's like that saying, the straw that broke the camel's back, because you get popular, you do something, and especially if you're controversial, you're going to get a lot of haters, and you're going to get a lot of fanboys upset, and you're going to get a lot of people that, just they want to see you shut down one way or another. They don't necessarily wish you a whole lot of ill will, but some of them are out there that do. All right, this is the first pocket knife I'm trying to. I make if the light goes weird or anything, I'm trying to turn the flashlight on this. It says the thing for the microphone. Let's go over here. I think all I can do. Well, you can see. I think we can see. All right. Most people are not lucky. Like I'm gonna be 67 in April. Most people are not lucky enough to have the first knife that they bought when they were a kid. Now, I think I was given another knife, like a fixed blade, as my dad before I bought one. But I mean, this was in the '60s. Saber, there's a big whole history of them. But when they first came out, this is bone. This is jig bone. Now, like anything, it's made in Japan. There's a little pin blade on it, and it doesn't have a whole lot of snap and everything, kind of rusted out. That's the real patina. But, what does it say? Saber, Japan. The first ones are 2-digit, and they're usually bone and everything else, and a lot of them just look like this kind of bone. Let me get this light on here. See that? Pretty good coloration. You know how much this thing cost? $5. You can see the pins there. We didn't care about fit and finish. We didn't care a whole lot about snap. Never once did I even hear about anything about centering. $5. Now this is $5 in 1960. It's 60 something, late 60s. Like I said, I went in that store. I looked and I went, I just need a pocket knife, And this thing served me for a long time. It wasn't a case. I couldn't afford a case. It was $5. I don't know how much it is now. You can get them a lot cheaper. Finding them used, and I think that's what I'm going to do is start building up a collection. Because here's another saber. I like to get the sabers in Japan. See, this is a 645. This is after they were still in Japan. They built them all over the place. Japan, Ireland, Germany, USA. This one's got some good snap. Oh, that went a finger. Hey, Tom, you're 6 months older than me. You know what's cool about it? My birthday is going to be April the 8th. All right, where I'm at is going to be in the totality of the total eclipse on my birthday. I mean, oh man. What can you ask for other than don't look at it, without the special goggles and go blind? What did you do on your birthday? I did something really stupid. No, don't tell me you looked at the solar eclipse. Yeah, I looked right up at it. I remember once when I was in a do I have that? What was that say? Do I have that? That's something. Doug. Let me see if it pops up here on this one again. Doug Watkins. I can't remember where they were. $1 or $1. Yeah, they were cheaper. By the time I first got mine, it was like most of them were $5 on the display, and it was a whole range, of knives. I even had the melon tester. I don't know where it is. I got that melon tester. And, it's a military. It's got a long blade on it. Well, whether it was legal or not, my mom just didn't think that I should have that at that time. I wasn't 18. And she saw that and she confiscated. She took it away from me. But by that time, I had used it to jumpstart a truck. I had an old truck. And back then, the solenoid, a lot of times is built in on the starter nowadays. So when you turn the switch, there's a little gear that throws the motor, the electric motor in, and turns the gear that turns your piston engine, and that then gets it to fire. And on some vehicles, that was mounted externally. So if that ever failed, you didn't have to drop the whole damn starter and everything. You just get in there and pull a couple bolts out and undo these things, and away you go. Well, that was also another way of causing it to start without a key. You arc this path together. Now, yeah, it's wicked on a blade because you're putting a lot of amps on a thin blade. And sure enough, I still got it somewhere. Dig it out. One of these days, I'll show you. I've got a video on that. But yeah, that was confiscated from me by my mom because it was too long. She probably did me some good, because I probably would have tried to stab with it. It's so long, I probably would have had it fold on my hand. As it was, I abused. I wasn't, like I said, I used knives for a long time. I used them maybe not what they were intended for. But, $5. And back then, $5 was a big deal. I mean, I had to mow a whole yard for that. And it wasn't just like mow a little, apartment yard. It was a whole yard. All right, let's see what I got here on the. It stopped at you, Tom. So I'm gonna reload this chat again. Top message. Let's see all messages. Maybe that's what I need. Show all messages. There we go. Maybe that's working. Doug says I've crossed them on old tractors and trucks many a time. The old Bendix. Yeah, it's a way of doing it. I'll be leaving the 60% come July. Yeah. Nowadays, man, people live older, but I don't know. After the thing that cannot be mentioned, a lot of people are dropping at a young age. And like I said, when I bruise my chest, man, that's why I keep quiet a lot of times and I don't put videos up, because I don't want it to be morbid. I want people to have a good time and enjoy themselves. And if I can't have it funny or I can't say something good, then I just don't say anything at all. And man, I thought I wasn't gonna make it sometimes, like it wasn't, like I've been in worse pain before. It was just a combination of things. When if you're in pain all the time, it just depresses you, it just wears you down. You don't have any joy in your life. It's like the Rolling Stones, Paint It Black. You just, oh man, everything just it gets bad. But you pull out of it as long as you can realize that everybody goes through this. Everybody goes through ups and down cycles, and the thing is just to hold on. Just if things get bad, just put one foot in front of another. Just make it to another day, and usually it's either going to be, I can't say it's always going to be better. It's either going to be a slightly worse, or you're going to see an increase. It's you finally hit the bottom. Usually by the time you start realizing how bad you've had it is usually when your luck starts changing, if you want to call it luck. But anyways, yeah, I'm rambling on. All I did most summer evenings was cut 1-acre lawns for $5, usually a few at 10. When we were finished, we either played wiffle ball or kicked till the dark. Yeah, see, life was different. We didn't have internet. Kids could do stuff. You could go off, and your parents didn't know where you were. Like, they had a curfew. Mine told me, especially when I was getting to be around 10 o'clock, when I was getting to be a teenager, they had this ad that came on. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? I hated that one. Because without it, a lot of times they could skip. They'd forget, it'd be 11. You could get away with that. And usually you had to be within earshot. Your mom could call you. And where I grew up was in Texas, and each yard, it was like a big subdivision. Each yard had at least an acre in the yard. And in our case, we had an acre plus 5 acres behind us that was, our plot. Plus, behind that was my grandfather's, and he owned a lot of stuff, so it did kind of like a horseshoe. So there was quite a bit of area that I could just walk around, roam around, and be a kid, do whatever I wanted. I walked to school until I was high school. I walked, it was just like through the pasture, walk another little road, and it was a school that was backwards. I mean, it's Texas. So the first schools I went to was in Michigan, up north, and man, they had their crap together on education. Well, we were learning musical notes, do, re, mi, so, fa, la, and stuff like that. We were adding. We had little science things, pamphlets they would give to you. Uh, they had their crap together on education. And then my dad was in the military and he went to Vietnam. And while he was gone in Vietnam, we moved from Michigan to Texas, Houston, Texas. And oh my God, just the language was different, because they speak different in Texas. It was y'all and dill. I didn't know what a dill was. I knew what a dill pickle was. I didn't know what a dill and y'all what it was. And the kids didn't know. Even the teachers didn't even know who the current president was. And everything. I was like 2, 3 grades ahead of them. And every grade was in a room. And the teacher did everything except for maybe math. They might have somebody that came in and subbed for that if they're going to do math. But and it was all white. This was the '60s too. Until the civil rights, they busted in 2 black kids. Now 2 white kids had to go to the black school, so I mean they probably had a story to tell too. But that was segregation. We'd said the Pledge of Allegiance. We stood up every day. Uh, I learned about bullies uh, there. Uh, I you can kind of see them in school. At first I'm innocent, I'm smiling, and then I had to get glasses, my eyes are so you're gonna get picked on. I was small, so you're gonna get a lot of crap for being small. And then if you're smart, or if you even pretend to be smart, you're gonna make the dumb kids look stupid. So a lot of times comedy was a good thing for me. But then you had the kids in the class that would steal your jokes, because you don't say it loud enough. They say it, and then they get all the laughs for it. Suckers. I mean, that's what they do. But anyways, I don't know why we got in there, but yeah, that's what I grew up in. And my father was very racist, very racist. He hated black people. He hated them. And all that did to me was just get me more open minded. It's like, man, this is ignorant. We even had they had in Houston, I think it was Herman Park or whatever. They had a water fountain and it had a sign above it, and it said colored water. And I was a kid, I wanted to drink out of it because I thought it was colored water. I thought it was going to come out as a rainbow. And they were like, "Don't get away from that." And this was, like it was really a different class. It was like apartheid or whatever. They had their own, and that's not right. Color of someone's skin. And then we had a bad history with slavery. So, anyways, uh, I don't mind the changes that have occurred. As far as that goes, the civil rights and everything else. I think we're better. We're better for that. Accepting people for what they are. And another thing I like about it, America back then was United States of America. It didn't matter where you came from. You might have your own culture. It might be Italiano or French or Irish or whatever. And but if it came down to something that happened, like a hurricane or something else, or the neighbor would help the neighbor. Like even though we were kind of like out in the country, the guy that lived across the street was a veteran also. My father, like was had gotten finally came back from Vietnam and was living there, and we'd go to like the football games and stuff like that. And we had dogs, and usually dogs enough, with a fence and dogs was enough to deter people, but not always. And one day, the whole family, we were all at the football game, the high school football game, and a car pulled up, and my neighbor, was across the street, and of course he had a rifle and a scope, so he knew what was going on, and he watched them, and they opened the door, and the car pulled in, and he was getting his flashlight ready. They didn't have cell phones or anything like that, so a lot of times you had to handle things on your own, and he got ready, and then all of a sudden he heard barking. All of a sudden you see the dome lights go on, and the car just like slammed it in reverse, and he just hauled ass out of there, and the dog's like, "Rawr, rawr, rawr," and they didn't even get past the dogs. So self-defense right there was dogs, you know. We weren't there, and also the neighbor. I mean, if they would have been like loading up stuff, I don't know if he would have shot him or anything else. This was Texas back then, maybe. Uh, but people looked out after each other. People knew each other, and things were different. You could walk, like I said, you could walk. You weren't abducted. There were still perverts. There was still weird stuff going on. But life was different, and there wasn't. there was a thing like I think Kennedy, summed it up best. He goes, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And that was because most people, when they're here in America, realize after a while, hey, your country has done a lot for you. And the reason why your country has done a lot for you is because of the people that came before you. It's not necessarily have to be all, look at this, live messages. There is no live messages. There is no, come on, wake up, you. There we go. All of this is because someone before us fought for our freedoms. Usually in the military, but not always. It could have been a spy. It could, somebody cared enough about your life. They don't even know you. Somebody in the future. They wanted a better life for other people. And a lot of times you can talk all you want. But sooner or later, there's going to be bullies. And bullies, the only thing they understand is force being directed back at them. So if somebody is invading your country, you stand up to them. And you don't stand up to them by, like protesting on the street. This is wrong. We need the United Nations come in here and just put an article out and condemn this action. No. You know what you did? You picked up your arms, whatever it was, and you fought back. Why? Because they're invaders. It's sovereignty, all this other stuff. Yeah, you can get into colonialism and all this other stuff, what happened, what goes on. But, yeah, sorry, I'm getting off into a wild rant here. That's why I knew, even if I didn't have a topic, I could be able to kick out something. Let me see how the chat's doing here. And thank you, everyone who's joined the chat and listened to this. All this is just my opinions. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I don't have the answers to all this stuff. I'm just an old guy remembering the past, and I don't resist change and everything. I like computers. Look at that. Oh, I'll say, what is all that flashing? It's this guy. Is it that guy? You see it? You see in the background? Does it look like that's flashing? And see, there's nothing over here doing that. That's weird. I think it's because I don't have the light on the camera. Well, let me get caught up with the chat, see how things are going. Green chili. Oh, yeah. Man, I love green chili. I'm getting back here to Dan D's message here. Caves. Okay, you guys are talking. We were pretty poor, used to, well, we could scrounge, but we had a lot of fun. Yeah, that's it, you don't need a lot to. Me and my brother made forts in the woods. Oh, yeah, that's always great. Most of the old folks were, that's how they were brought up, yeah. Sounds like you enjoyed yourself. Yes, yes. How's your daughter's brain? Yeah, let's look at this. Toys and games we would get in the woods and play and climb trees and swimming. My toys were a lot of times Army men, BB gun. Even if I didn't have those, I could entertain myself. A lot of times I'd have to stick around in the yard, so it was a big yard. And I could go back in the pasture and I could disappear. As I got older, I knew how to get around things like curfews and restrictions. I got a motorcycle too. I had a Yamaha 80. It was street legal. I got a license and everything, but my parents were really strict. I could only go at a certain time. Well, the good thing about a motorcycle is you can get it before you can get a learner's permit, because as long as it's under a certain amount of cc, I think it was like under 125 cc, and mine was 80. You could be legal. I mean, you could drive around. I had insurance. I wore a helmet and everything. And so, man, if you got mobility, I lived in the outskirts of Houston to I could go to Houston. And I learned how to drive in the bayous with my motorcycle. There's like a concrete, they have these bayous up there. And it's for if it rains and floods and everything, so water can go through there. Oh, and you can, a motorcycle, it's two wheels, but you can get on the edge of it and go like this. All you'd have to do is watch out for the opening once in a while, because it would just drop out. So you'd drop, usually wasn't floated, you could drop here like this and then get back up and play around. And that was like a non-patrolled secondary way of sneaking around throughout the city, man. You could go through all over the place and not really be hassled by the cops or people or anything. You just pop up, woo, and then zip back on. And yeah, that dangerous and everything else, but yeah, life is dangerous, man. As soon as you're born, there's always something after you. Let me look at the chat here. Pony's pony. Yeah, yeah. A lot of young kids, like I don't hate on younger people. Like usually, I connected well when I was working in other work environments. Like one of my best friends was in his 20s, because you can learn from them, like their music or what they're into, or technology. Like I didn't know, I didn't know how to use phones. Like how to expand it. Um, you know, phones before. I didn't know all about that. Even though I started off in the computer age, but yeah, today I went out and I threw uh, this old timer. I threw him in the way. The blood of my enemies are dripping off of this. A lot of people look at these old. I dropped mud in my drink. It's flavoring. A lot of people look at these old ones, and they go, made in China. They're a lot of fun to just mess around with. And this one feels lighter. It feels more like what a bowie blade would be used for, which is like nimble in the hand but long. It can still cut. And of course, mine is special. It's not an old timer. It's just a time. It's just a timer or a time. So the hell with that old man. What's this ageism? Boomer. All right, boomer. You know what? If boomers wouldn't have been around, my war was a Cold War. And y'all are starting to experience what that's like when people are saber rattling, but their sabers are nukes. Yeah. Don't want that genie to come out of the bottle. But yeah, I just like to have fun while we can, and it's just like with the cat and everything with Buddy. I feel really good because I've come to an understanding about him, and I think he's come to an understanding about me, and that took a lot of weight off my shoulder because I worry about him. Am I doing the right thing? Is he doing the right thing? Should I do this and everything? And I stress too much, man. I worry too much about crap. Uh, things will work out themselves out. Everything will be all right. I know that sounds like a platitude, but most of the time it's right. All right, so here's the knife that fell on the ground. Now this is a saber. It's when they switched to stainless steel. But see, they also made them in China. So like I was saying, with Japan, when Japan first came out, like now a lot of times we think of Japan as high quality, Japanese sabers and everything. Japan can make good stuff, but after World War II, all they had was pot metal a lot of times, and their industry was messed up. So Japan turned out a lot of crap, man. They turned out a lot of cheap stuff. And this isn't crap. I wouldn't call it crap, but it's not the best. Look at that. It's like a roll pin. They didn't even bother. They didn't even bother with see if I can zoom in here. They didn't even bother with trying to shine that up, but believe me, the Japanese know how to make good steel. They made good steel before I think we were a country. See, it's a pin here. But yeah. Yeah, Tony, man, it's a long. It's been a while. Like a lot of times, how do I unzoom? Oh, God. There we go. Uh, it's been a while since I've message deleted by William Ansel. I didn't mean to do that, Tony. Let me do this. View deleted message, and I can't. It's only let me zoom in. Sorry, Tony. Whatever you wrote there. See, that's why I'm trying. As I was trying to zoom out, I tried to delete it, but he said, uh, "It's the first. It's the first live I've ever seen." Let me get up here. See if I've got actions over here. No, go to channel, you idiot. Sorry, I'm trying to bring his. If Chris is still in here, he can. Not that, you Bonehead. Not a channel update live. Where am I? Uploaded 2 videos. Here we go. Well, this is it, hopefully. Yeah. Sorry. All messages. Alright, let's see what I... Tony's pony was hidden by William Mansell. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Can I do anything? I'm a moderator. I'm a moderator. Why can't I moderate? Well, see, Tony, I didn't do that on purpose. That's why I try not to moderate while doing this stuff. Don't touch that button. Which one? This one right here? Yes, don't touch it. Well, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I got blocked. God. Sorry, let me unblock him. Sorry, Tony. He's going to hate me. Yeah, all right, that's it. Let's see if I can hold on this and do anything. No. Man, look at that. I blocked him. I can't. All right. Who wants to be a moderator? One of my members. Tom, you want to be a moderator? Or Philip? I think I could make you a moderator. And then you could undo Tony's pony's block because... Let me see if I can do this. All right. Here we go, right here. Put user in timeout. Who am I looking at? Tom. I think I got you, Tom. Hide user from channel. Go to channel, remove. What? I don't want to do any of those. I want to make him a moderator. What the heck? Crazy. He got blocked. What is this? I'm sorry. I gotta make it up to Tony's ponies. Well, let me goof with this for a second. See if I can unblock him. Crazy. So it wasn't that one. Unhide user on this channel. There we go. This should do it. Maybe that'll do it. If you're back, Tony's Ponies, and if you haven't left, leave a comment. Let me see if I did this right. That's crazy. Look at this. See, he wrote, how is this William's first live? It's the first I've caught. It's not my first one. And I was trying to respond to that. There we go. He's back. See, this thing's not keeping up with him. On my screen it says, don't hate him, Tony. See, I'll mess with you. It's not saying it over here. Sorry. I'm an old guy. I'm gonna blame it. I'm gonna blame it on old guy mode. Alright, see? I was unhidden. Alright, there you go. That's why I try to watch that I don't do this. All messages. There we go. Alright, so let me make Tom a moderator. Now, Tom, just know if you get put in timeout or something like that, I'm not doing it on purpose. Go to channel. See it? Hide user channel. It won't let me make you a moderator. You're a member. I don't know why I can't do that, Tom. Let me try it with splitting slices Byron here. Let me see. Go to channel, report, remove, hide user on this channel. Come on, man. I guess it doesn't let him, whoever's a moderator, make other moderators. So I guess that I have to do it on this screen right here. So Tom, go ahead and say something on this screen right here. Let me put live chat. And let me see if I can make you a moderator from not this one, because this is my other phone and I've got it on my lock channel, so it can come up there and look like, So I think that's why I couldn't make you a moderator. Let me see if this is here. Live chat. All messages are visible. All right, Philip's up here. I think the knife fell on the phone and blocked you. Yeah, we can blame it on the knife. All right, Philip, I might make you a moderator here. I'm just going to see if I can do it from this phone here. I'm going to do it to Tom because I think he said, yeah, he'd do it. But Philip, if you're willing to, isn't tech wonderful? Yeah. Splitting slices. All right, here. Let me hold that. All right, actions. Report, remove, add as moderator. Pow. Managing moderator. Can manage block words and change chat modes and live, and also has capabilities of standard moderators. And then standard moderator can review, remove chat message, and we're going to have you as a managing moderator there. Let's see how that does. Bow. Splitting slices is now a managing moderator. Look at that. You've been promoted, Byron. Look at that. Favoritism? No. No. Efficiency? I'm just trying to be a little bit more efficient. So, if it works, splitting slices should show up. Tom, I'm going to try to give it to you. Actions, add as moderator. Tom, we're going to make you as a standard moderator. I just want to see if there's any difference between the two. I'll promote you as a managing moderator if that, makes you happy or anything. I just want to see what that does, but we're going to make you as a standard moderator. Tom Weingart is now a standard moderator. That's kind of like plain, isn't it, Tom? It's like standard. What are you? I'm not a special. I'm just a standard. All right. I've seen somebody he makes everybody a moderator. Everybody that comes on and gets in the chat, he makes them a moderator. All right, let me refresh this and see. See, we're learning something here. We all, if nothing else, I want to make sure that everybody has fun. Oh, look at that! He's got a wrench. Now let's see if Tom gets it, and see if Tom's wrench is a different color. Let's see. Tom, go ahead and put a comment up there, because you should at least be a standard moderator. Todd Carr, managing moderator has ability to time out other regular moderators. Ooh. What happens? All right, we're about to find this out. What happens if I make Tom a managing moderator too? Can he put splitting slices in timeout? And then can timeout put Tom? Can Byron put Tom? And can we have a little war like that where the moderators have moderated each other? Well, anyway, we'll find out. Do we have a new sheriff in town? Yes, we've got 2 new sheriffs in town. I think it worked. Yeah. So if you guys want to jack around with each other, just, don't do it. Don't do it to people that don't know it, because it's like practical jokes. They're all right until it happens to you. But between you two, if you want to put each other in timeout, or if you want to goof around with somebody, do that. But like I said, like Tony, he's a good sport about it. But if he didn't know, he could have looked at it as like, man, the first time I joined Williams Knife Life, he put me in timeout. He blocked me for no reason whatsoever. The hell with him. I'm not going back on there ever again. And hey, it could be a don't make me a moderator. Yeah, right? I'm not gonna make everybody moderator, but I mean that's what I was trying to do is that way whenever I'm on a live stream up there, the moderators can do stuff like they can put up links a lot of time. You look at some of them and they work hard. Somebody will be talking about something and not even scripted. They're gonna be like, oh, yeah, they got those at Blade HQ. Bam, there's a link. It's like, wow. And I mean, that's what I want to eventually get that way, but I'm not expecting that. Hello, Pardon My English. Pardon My English is another guy that does flashlights. He does flashlight reviews, and oh man, he's pretty cool. So check his channel out also. The thing I do with channels, here's another thing I'd like to bring up in stickers, all right, is a lot of times I'm not going to promote a bunch of channels and stuff like that every time, because if I figure, like, if you get up to 1,000, you've made it, and if you haven't got up to 1,000, then I'll try to push you. But with stickers, some of these people have sent me stickers, and if you send me more than one, what I'm going to do is when I do giveaways, I'm going to drop one of your stickers in on the other one, because a lot of times they'll give me like 3 stickers or something like that, And that way, some of the people you see in the chat and over here, if you win one of my giveaways, it's like a swag bag or whatever, you throw in stickers. Now, you're always going to get a sticker from me on there and everything. And I don't do my giveaways on the live stream because, like I said, I don't know when I'm going to do a live stream. I don't know how it's going to act. You saw. You saw me, what happened just touching a button. Can you imagine me trying to manage a giveaway on a live stream? And the winner is, oh, I'm sorry, I put him in timeout. We had a winner. I'm sorry, he's not a winner now. He's a loser. Who was that loser? Don't call him that. He's going to get mad. No, he can't say anything. He's in timeout. But yeah, so anyways, I'll try to do, like I said, more. Oh, look at that. Look, he did a link. If you like everyone's content, see, he did a link there. I'll try to do live streams and everything. 1908. There's an old timer for you right there. Somebody's got a crown right there. 3 shillings. See, in England, here's something. England had pennies. We don't have pennies in the United States. We have cents. Now, I've always called them pennies and stuff like that. And this is Edward VII 567. Edward the 7th. DC. I can't see anything here. Light. We need light in here. Well, let me get out the new Warcos TD05. Now, see, this one doesn't have a moonlight mode, so let me get the 4. I gotta put it in moonlight mode. I gotta hit this button first. There. All that for moonlight. Alright, so let's examine this a little closer here. A little light. Show a little light on the subject. Yeah, even though it's English, it's almost like they're putting Latin in there. Dominos or Exos or whatever. It looks like a dime. Alright, so here's a penny for you. 1D. And this one is George V.I. Rex. Imperator. He's an Imperator. South Africa, 1941. Saudi Africa. Look, they got a sailboat. Now in 41 they had regular ships and stuff like that too, so. Yeah, I like coins too. That's another thing I get into is coins. Oh, thank you, Philip, for subscribing to Pardon My English. Yeah, see, that's another thing. We can support each other like that. You can see people in the chat and say, hey, well, who's that? I wonder what they are. And if you just check them out, then you run into things like, see, Pardon My English, that's just like main bread and butter is doing flashlights. So he gets flashlights from other companies. He does reviews. He gets his own flashlights. And he's into that. I don't know if he's got a meter, but a lot of those guys, they get into light meters and everything, and so they test lumens. I'm an amateur on all of that and stuff, but I pass it on, if I see somebody that's good, especially if they join a chat and everything, it's like, all right, Don't the dinosaurs get in on the lives? Yeah, they do. They do get in on the lives sometime. The thing with the dinosaurs, man, you notice it's plural, so there's more than one, and I'll just introduce some of them. Here's Boris. He's Russian. He's Russian. He's Boris. He's like the main guy of DinoNet. Let me see where Danny Dino is. He's hiding, probably behind a grenade. Here he is. Here's Danny Dino. All right, so here's Danny Dino. Howdy, folks. I'm Danny Dino. Danny Dino. See, I haven't. All these things that I do, I don't rehearse them. I could probably do a live sometime, but yeah, that's why editing comes in handy a lot of times, because you wouldn't hear that screw up. But that's Danny Dino, and they run a knife company. Now I based that off of Cutlery Corner, because he was like DinoNet Cutlery dot, yeah, because he just like loses it after he doesn't remember the Ural, and it's just a joke. I'm not. I actually got in trouble. I thought people understood comedy, but I got in trouble one time. I kind of call it trouble. Um, I was making a joke about a Lanny's clip, and I wasn't slamming any one particular company, but at that time there was a company that came out with a very expensive. I'm trying to find the original Danny's Lanny around here, and I thought parody. It's not. My idea of comedy is not to hurt somebody, but to get people to laugh with them, not laugh at them, but laugh with them. And I was just trying to do that, and yeah, it's not always perfect. I'm looking for it. Uh-oh, Danny's Lanny is missing. We need a searchlight. Should we call the cops? That's my emergency whistle. All right. So I put this flashlight on there because it's pretty bright and it's easy access to your special modes. All right, now warning, there might be some strobage here. Look at that. You're under arrest. Now, here if you're walking around with that and everything, you can get in trouble. But if you're going to like over to Habibi's across the street, if you're carrying this in your hand, it can help you from getting run over by a car. Not necessarily help you get run over by a car because sometimes people are malicious and you're just giving them an easy target to run over. But most people are going to see you, and even during daylight and everything, it might save you from getting run over. So, that's what I was trying to do. What was I looking for? Oh, yeah, Danny's Lanny. Hear that? I don't know if you heard that. There's a cat. Some of them got a really long vocalization. They got a rich vocabulary, and I've learned from cats and from reading about. Here it is. Danny's Lanny, the original. All right, this is just a Rough Rider that's in VG10, and I put on there in magic marker. It's not that magic, permanent marker. Danny's Lanny, and he started selling these. He was selling them for a lot, and that's when I came up with like the 37 painless flex pay payments. I'm just having fun with it. Well, somebody that bought a here we go. We're gonna dig this one up. A Jack Wolf's knife. Somebody that I know, somebody that was within the community, somebody that I considered like a friend and everything, went nuts on me. Oh my God! They came up on Instagram and they said, "I'm gonna get you. You don't know what you've stepped into. You're just a hater." Blah blah blah. And just vicious, malicious, terrible stuff. And it was like, "Oh my God, what the hell? Have you been drinking?" And this guy was like, "No, he was serious. You don't know me." You know what? One of the things, like I said, bullies. One of the things I do not like is somebody that thinks they're a bully, that talks crap. I may be small and everything, but you know what? I do not put up with that crap. And especially if it's not, I was not trying to slam him. If he bought one, I don't even know if he got one, but he did a rave review about that knife. And I'm not a hater. I'm not jealous. You can buy whatever you want. I don't care how much the knife costs. It's comedy. Well, I got a dinosaur out there. Do you not understand comedy? Some people really don't have a sense of humor. And it wound up, I blocked that person. I don't talk to that person anymore. I'm not going to mention their name, but I mean, you might figure it out on your own. But that person is toxic, and they come across as a nice person, really. So that's when I talk about snake in the grass. You've got to watch out. I mean, that's what caused me to shut down my other channel, my last channel, my lock channel, my lock sport channel. It wasn't because of all the haters outside the community. It was from somebody from within. Somebody I thought was a friend, somebody I thought I could trust. And they're just a jerk. They're really a terrible, nasty person that's very good, very good at acting like they're one of us, that they're normal. And I don't know, it may be mental illness, so I'm not vicious about it, but I know crazy. I know what's crazy. I know what's psychopathic. I know what's not right. And that's not right. And you know what? I'm not forgive and forget. I won't forgive something like that. That just goes beyond the boundaries. And as far as forget, I'm not going to hate on this person. I'm not, I don't have any vengeance. I could expose them fully as to what they were and everything, but that was a long time ago. They may have changed. I don't follow them anymore. Like I said, the best way, if you don't like something, the best way to handle it is to walk away. And if you let me walk away if I'm mad at you or something like that, then that's it. That's all we got. We don't have any issues. If later on they apologize or whatever thing, like this person later on wanted to apologize and said, oh, I just misunderstood or whatever. No, I'm sorry. You crossed a line. When you start threatening me and you start saying, I know where you live, and they did know where I live, you know, oh man, you don't want to do that, man. I will defend myself. And look at it. Look how crazy it's getting. Now we're talking about life and death over what? Because somebody was talking crap about a fanboy. Again, like that Joe X. Oh, you talk bad about my knife. I don't know if this person was a fanboy. From Joe X's thing, it was like a village person that hated him. But this is just an example of how something can destroy. Because on my lock channel, I quit it. I'd been on it for 3 years. I was almost getting up to 1,000 subscribers. I was almost, reaching that point. I was having a good time with all the people. It was a very friendly community, much like the knife community for the most part. It was much like that. Very friendly, very nice. And then from within, I made the mistake, like they talk about the three guardrails, that you don't want to talk about: politics, religion, and sexuality. If you avoid those three topics on anything, usually that's just one more thing you don't have to explain or take a stance on or offend. And that's the main thing. You don't have to offend somebody. And so, for the most part, when I'm picking a lock, and when I was doing my videos, I talk. I mean, I can chew bubble gum and walk. I talk. So I'm not just random, because a lot of times you don't know what the hell's going on. And if I was really efficient, I could say, pin one is binding pin. Sometimes I don't even know what pin I'm on. Sometimes I don't even know if I'm pushing a pin. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. So a lot of times I'm just rambling, I'm just talking. And one of the things I said was, and then this may offend people too right now. There are a lot of people opinionated about stuff. I said, our El Presidente is loco. And what I meant by that was because our president at the time had just stacked up a trade tariff with China of 20% on all imported goods. And here again, like I said, you may agree or disagree with that, but what we do in the lock sport community, I hope I didn't put somebody in timeout again. What we do in the lock sport community a lot of times is we pick on Chinese locks. I mean, actually, like pick on them, and they're like for the most part, they're cheap. They're laughably pickable and everything, you know. But we don't hate on the Chinese locks and everything. And a lot of our tools, inexpensive tools, were made in China, and they work. I mean, a lot of times they're crude, they're not refined, and everything. But they get the job done, and they serve a niche, for like $5. You can get a disc detainer pick tool, back then, and it would work against the those type of locks because those locks are crude. But I quit my channel. I quit something I loved and enjoyed because I thought, oh man, you know, this isn't the ideal world like I thought it was. There are assholes, there are jerks out there, and I'm sorry if I offend somebody. I try not to, say foul language, but yeah, that's just the best way to describe them. And what I learned from that when I started this channel was, I didn't delete all my videos. I just abandoned it, basically. I stopped responding. I left the videos up there, but I didn't comment. A lot of the people that were in that community, I liked them, and then some of them still follow, like Chris Capoon. He's a moderator on here also. He was from the Locksport stuff. He still does it. I don't know how he does, but he does it. He has a following, and they get a lot less followers. Most of them are not at that. I've spent over 3 years on there, did over 1,000 videos. I'm still at 700 and some subscribers. Because a lot of times people will walk away from something. They'll get burned out, and it becomes kind of like a dead channel. Yeah, they've got good content and everything, but they're not they don't know the latest thing. They don't know the latest person. They don't participate in a lot of stuff. And I haven't completely given up on it. I go back to it because I enjoy that. To me, picking a lock is relaxing. It's a challenge. It takes my mind off stress, and it's fun. So let me take another drink, see what's going on here. How long I've been on? Hour and 26 minutes. So I'm going to stay on a little bit longer. I just want to look at the chat and get caught up with the chat. And again, say thank you to everyone that has joined here. Hi, Tobias. Everybody, don't forget to come back after the live event to click like and leave. Thank you, Tobias. Todd Carr. What's the people talking to each other? Buzz is here. All right, cool. Buzz was here. Buzz is a winner. Yeah, he recently won. He should have gotten his, according to tracking, he should have gotten his winnings today, and so should have. Where is it? My brain just went into neutral. I sent out 2 packages at the same time. Both of them were supposed to arrive today. Buzz was one of them, and yeah, he said it. He just got here. Okay. Buzz was one of them. Who was it? Man. Oh, checkmate. Checkmate King 2. This is White Rook. Over. Yeah, that he won also. So both those packages went out. All right. Oh, here's another announcement. So I got online and I looked at Smoky Mountain Knife Work and I looked at Chicago Knife Work, and I was looking at the next giveaway knife for this month. And Smoky Mountain Knife Work had it for $2.49 more than Chicago Knife Work. But Smoky Mountain Knife Works has I've never used it before, but Big Red EDC has a code that's supposed to be for free shipping. Now I was going to try it with one knife. See, all right, let's see how that goes. See if they do free shipping on one knife. But the knife I wanted was out of stock at Smoky, so I ordered it from Chicago Knife Work. So that knife's going to come in. When it comes in, I'll do a review on it, and then that will be the giveaway drawing video. So that's coming up, and it's pretty cool. I won't tell you exactly what it is right now. The knife. Give me some mystery, but yeah, I wanted some heads up for here. All right, so yeah, Buzz was a December giveaway winner. I said December 20. Let's see. I said February 23. I don't know. I get things mixed up, but you get it figured out. It was not a Lanny's clip, unfortunately. No, these are cool. These are cool ones. Got a knife half stop. It's VG10. They made it in green. They made a trapper like this also. But man, there's just so many. There's so many good knives out there that it's hard. It's hard to narrow it down as to what which one you want. All right, so let's do a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more military training for you. For those of you that didn't get in the see, you had to sit there. It's well worn, man. You had to have this stuff on you at all times. Authority is the right to power and command. Each of us were introduced to authority when we were children. The right to power and command was given to our parents by both public and moral laws, because they were responsible by law to rear us and front us also. They had to have the authority to control our development. Parents were not the only form of authority to which we were exposed. They were simply the first. Other figures of authority were our teachers, clergymen, policemen, and employers. Each of these is empowered by law to exercise various types of authority. Some of us resented that authority and could hardly wait for the time when we would be free of it. None of us, however, will ever be free from all forms of authority. And yeah, if you're the rebellious type like I was, one of the worst things that you can do if you want to be rebellious and independent is join the military, because they tell you right there they have the authority. And yeah, you learn what authority is about that and who has a right. Some people say they've got authority and it's just all talk. And then other people, wow. When you're in the military, they have the authority. And you don't have crap. But it was good, you know. I don't want people to get the idea, because if I wouldn't have done that, look at this: the Overseas Command, USAF, PACAF. I was in PACAF. I was in Europe, and I was in PACAF, and I was in SAC. Major Commands. See, I was in Strategic Air Command to prevent nuclear war. That was our mission. Right? TAC, I was in TAC to support U.S. ground forces. ADF or ADC, that was like missile defense. Guardians of U.S. Security Services. Now that we could get into from our career field. Provides communication security service for the U.S. aerospace forces. And those, that was like a specialized one. If you joined that one, you would have to go through the regular training that we had, and then you would have to go through flight training and survival training and everything else, because you would be put on these aircraft that looked like just normal cargo aircraft. But their mission was to run towards the Russian border, head towards, like, I'm going to bomb you, I'm going to get you. And what they want them to do is switch on all their radars so we could record their frequency, location, everything. And then at the last second, turn, veer away, Well, sometimes, Cold Wars are not always cold. And many of them got shot down. And it's one of those kind of like secret, we were already in a classified mission, career field. And if you wanted danger, yeah, you could be shot down just doing your job, you know. Splitting Slice, thank you for the donation. Splitting Slices, yeah. Um, yeah, all these donations, everything like that, like I said, go towards the channel. I do shipping to the people. I try to do priority mail so it's insured, so it gets to them right away. And the only thing delays it a lot of times is just my inefficiency at a budget, because I should have enough money set aside to do a mail out, on a winning. But a lot of times I have to wait because I didn't budget something correctly, or I live off Social Security, and I would have had a 401k, but I had to live off that, and so I used all that up. But and it's not excuses, but I mean the thing is, sometimes I have no money. I literally have no money to mail the thing out. But I get it to you, like I said, eventually. First of the month, uh, I get paid by Social Security, and usually that's when I take care of stuff, and I'll do that. I mean, so the thing I want to know from everybody, if you're watching this or you're rewatching it, leave in the comment, um, if you think you would join a higher membership level than, like, right now it's $1.99, and if you did, what would you expect out of that? What would you expect out of that higher membership level? What would you want as the perk? Would you want anything? And then what would you want that higher level of money to go towards? Do you want it to go towards a giveaway just for those people in that level? I mean, all this is open. or you want to still have that higher level, but just contribute to the general fund, so that way I would factor in not only that I got 15 people at a dollar. There's one higher level person that's joined at whatever the higher level is. I don't want it to go super high because I just feel bad about, I know people are doing it. It's not bad if people are willing, and I'm not scamming people, but it's like, you know, people need their money for a lot of stuff, and a membership, like what am I going to give them? They're going to get an instant. They're going to get to see a video before everybody else, or uh, I'm not gonna do like a OnlyFans thing where you get to see Buddy naked or something. We got to keep this. We got to keep this civilized. So, anyways, yeah, just let me know what you think about that, and I'll toss around. And probably what I'll do is I'll put it up there, and I'll offer the higher level. And if nobody ever goes for it, then that'll be my answer, right there. Well, yeah, they'd like that choice, but they can't afford it, or they don't want it, or you're not doing enough for it, or. So, there. That's all I do. That's why, I said I don't ask for likes, I don't ask for thumbs up, but if I can push more members, this is what I'm going to do out of with it, which is give higher level value of knives in the giveaway. And that's just to give back to you guys. Yeah, I'm happy with what we give out. I mean, I can explore other things if we want to go with antique knives or specialized knives or stuff like that. But the main thing is just to have fun with it and to enjoy it, and I want everybody to experience not gambling, but just like the chance of, hey, maybe today, I'll win something. Maybe I'll win a knife. And a lot of times, if you already got a channel, like I said, or if you've already won or whatever, uh, you're free to say, I don't want it, you know, put it in another one. Or if you've got another channel like Tobias, he's got a channel. If he won, you know what? He can put that knife in a giveaway if he doesn't want it, or he can keep it. Really, after someone wins a knife, it's yours. You could do whatever you want. You could sell it. I mean, as long as like I said, you're a knife person, and I can usually tell from the people that comment and stuff. And it's not always you have to like be a regular, because I've met some new ones in here that were not bots, and like Tony's Ponies. He, I don't know, I haven't been following a lot of the other chats and stuff, but because he's been in here, I know he's a knife guy. So if he were to win, all I'd have to do is just verify his address. And like I said, with these addresses, I'm not going to give them away to mailing, or I'm not going to divulge. I know how to keep a secret. I was in a classified career field, so I can keep secrets. I'm not. All I'm going to do is it's just to get your winnings to you. So let's see let's see if I'm keeping up with chats up here. Todd's up here. Philip, Swamp Stomper. Hey, Swamp Stomper. He won one also. He's on international. That's what I want to say also, is that, we always do like the lower 48 because we're here in America and because of shipping. But there are people that are in other countries, like he's in Canada, and there's people in England and stuff like that. And I've done giveaways where I sent knives to France, to England. When I was in Locks, I sent stuff, Locksport sent stuff to Australia. So, but what's happened with knives recently and knife laws is they've gotten really picky. Now, even something, like a folding knife, oh, the blade's too long, or a small knife, ooh, it's a lockback. And used to be they weren't that strict about it, You could say novelty knife or something like that, and it could still be a knife, and you would get away with it. But now, not only are you know, your stuff likely to be seized or whatever, the person receiving it can get in trouble. They like open up a big investigation. Someone sent you a big knife. What are we gonna do with this knife? Huh? You should know that this is an offensive weapon. Look at it. It's dirty. It's offensive. It's an offensive weapon. What is wrong with you? Tell us who your leader is. We know you're in a cell. Commie! We know you're in a communist cell and you're trying to overthrow our government. We're the only ones allowed to have power and weapons. And you're not. So, yeah, I don't want that to happen. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is good. I'm gonna try to go a little bit longer. I'll try to make it 1 hour. Let's see, we're at 140 according to my thing up there. We got 15 people up here. We got some likes. There's been 21 likes. We had a donation of splitting slices. Thank you, Byron. And yeah, this is cool. See how the members, they're in green. I don't know if you can see this, but they show up as green. They get these little emojis. And like I said, because there's so few people on the membership, a lot of times I just bounce things off of them. You know. What do you think about this? Make sure I was trying to scroll. I saw Tom say something, but it's not showing up here again. Dang it. All messages. What did Tom say? Winning is always a thrill, but shouldn't be the only reason you follow any channel. So true. So true. You know. And yeah, that's another thing I want to say about that also is that I'm not doing this just to get views, you know, like wee and get subscribers. But what I like about it is it's a way of giving back, you know, to the community because I have a lot of fun. Uh, if you see me in other chats when I'm feeling good, I'm a goofball. I'll say stupid stuff, and it's lucky that I don't get banned because I, you know, class clown a lot of times, and um, when I'm not feeling good though, man, I just withdraw from everything. You know, like talking to people already. I'm isolated as to begin with. I stop talking to people. I don't make videos, and making videos a lot of times to me is like, y'all. I treat everyone, even though analytics say I shouldn't. I treat everyone as if like they're returning people. You know, like people I've talked to before. And even though you're not there, that's just the way that's just the way I do the videos. And I feel that way too. You know, I feel like I've had a social interaction, even though we're, you know, digital and everything. I feel like I connected, you know, with some of my friends and talked about stuff. Sometimes it's just venting, like my, like my, like my rambles. Sometimes it's like, oh man, I can't go to sleep. I've got insomnia. I've got this on my head. I know what I'll do. I'll just turn on the camera and start talking. And oh man, a lot of times I've had to delete those videos. Nobody heard them because after I listened to it, and I'm like, oh man, you shouldn't have said that. A lot of times, if you're angry or if you've got strong emotion, if you can, think before you speak. I mean, that'll get you out of a lot of trouble sometimes. And sometimes I don't think before I speak. And I've said things that a few years back, couple, 2, 3 years back, I did some videos that if I would have published them, I'd have gotten at least blocked, at least shadow banned. I would have gotten probably a community strike, and not for copyright infringement either, for speech. So if I talk in the code words and I talk in stuff like that, it's just because it's not because I think you're stupid or anything like that. It's because I think that the restrictions on people speaking is stupid. And so we have to speak like a baby sometimes to avoid the AI. AI is just, a lot of times, it's just stupid. It's just listening for a word. So, like a kid, if you spell something out, let's go for a WALK. It doesn't hear walk. You know, it's like, oh, WALK. That's a bad word. If anybody says that, trigger word. But then you say it like a little kid. Well, later on, dear, why don't we go for a WALK? And the kid's just like oblivious. Well, eventually, like any kid, they're eventually going to grow up. They're going to figure out, hey, we should also watch out for anybody spelling out these words. WALK. And if none of those are words of their own, then yeah, pretty soon AI gets wise. And they'll ban you for that too. And you can't spell out walk either. So you got to use up something else. You come up with something else. You call it some euphemism, let's go for a cheeseburger. And then, but then, hair. So, yeah. Let me look at what Byron said. You're pretty good at counting to 10. Yeah, see, counting to 10 before you post a video. You think maybe just keep doing what you do, self-check yourself. Yeah, see, Byron, I don't know if he's put up any videos yet or not, but he's learning, you know. When he puts up any his own videos and everything, be kind to him, really, because when you're first starting out, that's when you're the easiest to take out, because a lot of times everything will be going fine, and you get your first negative comment, and oh my God, if you're not ready for it, sometimes people can be cruel. They'll slam you, and like if you're doing a live video, they're showing your face or whatever, they'll make fun of something that you may not even have noticed before. You got a wrinkle, or you've got a birthmark, or something, your accent, and it's designed to trigger you, but it's that thing. It's like they call like a burr under your saddle, for like a horse term. If you've ever been on a horse and he's got a sticker underneath the saddle and you go to sit on him, oh man, every time he moves, it's like you're poking him, and sooner or later, yeah, you're gonna have a ruckus, and you're gonna be out of that saddle. And that's the way it is too. It's like a straw that broke the camel's back. If somebody's trolling you and nitpicking you, and you're doing all this, you think you're doing good and you're having a good time, and you thought that you did good content, and they said, you know what? That might have been a good video if you would have turned a light on. How much does it cost to turn on a light? Your video was so dark, I thought I was in a cave, and you're like, oh my God. And, if they catch you at the right time, it can be enough that you shut your channel down, that you give up. You say, well, hell with this, I'm just doing this to have fun. And what do I get? Grief. If I wanted grief, I would have stayed married. If I wanted grief, I would have stayed at work and dealt with the boss. That's why I came home. That's why I did this. I thought I was having fun with my friends, and that's how that escalates. So yeah. Anyways, I'm getting winded from talking, and I talk too much. I didn't want to really watch the chat, but I want to thank everybody who joined this. I'll try to do this more often. I can't say that I'm going to have a regularly scheduled thing, but I will try to schedule it so that people know, and they can say, hey, there's a live chat. Because, there's going to be some people that see this later and say, well, I would have joined that if you would have scheduled it. And, it's legitimate criticism, that's true. I should have scheduled it, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing a lot of times. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'm retired. My schedule is whatever I feel like. And yeah. So stay tuned for what's coming up in the future. Good luck for anybody that, has won before. You can win again. And I really enjoy the knife community and the people in it. I try to get to every comment that's left on a video, but sometimes they hide them from me, and I can't get to them. But I really appreciate, mostly of all of everything out of this, is the people that I've met. I mean, a lot of you people here, I don't know you, but a lot of you people here, I feel like as friends, And to me, it's from an old-fashioned type of friend where it's not how can you take care, advantage of somebody. It's people you want to hang out with and have a good time. So thank you for everyone that's joined here. Look at all these channels that have joined, and check out any of those that have content. and look at them, because it's not a competition with me. I'm not trying to be the best one or to get the most or whatever. And if if you're ever watching my video and somebody else has a live and they're your favorite person, go to them. I'm not going to feel offended. And if I ever get this right, you can usually link a video and recommend it to another one that's going on at that time. So, and I want to also thank my recently appointed moderators and Tony's Pony. I want to thank him for being a good sport, for getting hidden by me and unhidden by me. You never know what's going to happen on here. So we've reached almost 2 hours. Uh, Once again, thank you everyone for joining this live, and I'll try to do it again, and maybe I'll have you know, a format and a schedule, but definitely not a script. Uh, so again, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining this video, and everyone just have a good day, or night, or evening. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? I am. Yes, I am sure. I'm pretty sure.